fuck it, if all else fails, I'll just use another platform. Let's see. Video set up. Audacity set up. Let's see how Spotify does with recording. Alright. Well, we got an hour and a half. This is the pre-show, prenup, pre-show, pre-game. You can see I'm podcasting from another studio. We'll get into it into a cool second. But first, I'd like to take a quick word from our sponsor. And let me adjust my fucking mic. There we go, somewhere comfortable. How does that look? Alright. I got my Starbucks cup, which I stole from my boss. And let's kick this fucking mule.
Squish that cat.
How we doing, my bad motherfuckers? Oh, it's been a while. I got some crazy stories to tell y'all. Let me get some headphones on so I can concentrate. There's a lot of traffic in this area too. So, welcome back to the Alley Cat Podcast. My name is Najib Gypsy Grijalva, and I am your host for today's podcast. As of right now, today is April the 28th of 2023. And as you can see, I have a new set. Shout out goes to our sponsor, Gotta Leaf Studios here in Long Beach, California. The only place to get your exotic plants. You need monsteras. You need some fucking money trees to give to your mother-in-law so she at least tolerates you. You need some FICO plants. Whatever you need, we got it at reasonable prices. Only here at Gotta Leaf in Long Beach, California. Right here on Atlantic and 53rd Street, right across the street from the liquor store and those apartments that are about to get shut down. But anyways, I thought I'd give a quick shout out to Gotta Leaf Studios because they have kindly, not only have they kindly given me a camera that half the time doesn't even fucking work, at least with me. I'm really bad at editing video, but it's a good camera. I'm gonna use it to shoot other shit for future episodes. They were kind enough to not only donate their camera, but also lend me a space to do my podcast on company time, on company free time. It's like when back in the day when Trent Reznor of Nine Inch Nails was recording a Pretty Hate Machine on the studio's downtime just because he was the janitor. This is the same story here, guys. And I'm sorry I'm talking like this, but I've had enough drinks in me that I start talking like a New Yorker. I start channeling my inner Joey Diaz. So we're gonna kick this fucking mule. We're gonna have a good fucking time for the next hour and a half, and we're gonna make up for our lost time. And I'm gonna tell you what happened. But first things off, I hope everyone's having a great fucking Friday. My birthday's coming up. I hope I can do something fun for my birthday. Maybe I want to go see Bert Kreischer's The Machine, but that's between me and the Jeansmeister. We already got that shit planned out, so you know who you are. Let's see. All I know is that it's going to involve lots of booze, lots of weed, maybe a stripper or two if I'm looking, if I can afford it. If not, hopefully a bitch pops a titty. You know how it is. So my birthday's coming up. I was supposed to do an event today, but I fucked it off because I gotta take care of the store here. I've recently become an intern for Gotta Leaf, and by the way, I will clarify this: the opinions and views expressed on this podcast do not reflect the actual views and opinions of Gotta Leaf Industries and Gotta Leaf Studios. They are not liable or responsible for what I say and do. They're just giving me a nice little background for me to do my podcast. So don't take what I say to heart and don't fucking sue them, all right? was supposed to do a fucking venue thing today, but I don't have my artwork, and I was underprepared for it, and I gotta take care of the stove, and I gotta tend to these plants. There's still some swamp water that I gotta feed these plants, because turns out I've learned a lot in this last week about botany. Just hanging out with my bosses. I'm not gonna say their names on this podcast, but my bosses. We had a tank that was full of like literally swamp water. They got like a big old fucking fish tank, and they filled it up with water and like tadpoles and guppies and shit, and they threw in a couple pieces of wood, and as it would rot, it would kind of like it's like a tea, and it's really good for the plants. And you mix in some fish shit, and there's this like powder. It looks like a powder, but actually what it is like this fungal stuff that you pour it into water, you pour it into dirt, and with the sunlight it creates a root system for plants. Like you could actually replant like a fucking rose that you plucked off of the branch, even if the one doesn't have any roots. You throw it in some soil with these fucking fungus motherfuckers, and they'll go ahead and start a root system for it and get it revived. So that shit's a trip, man. Like life, botanical life is a fucking trip, man. And fucking anyways, my bosses, they went to go do a thing, left me in charge of the store for the rest of the night, and they were lucky enough to give me a space to do my podcast. And it looks nice. It's a really cool background. Right here we got a fucking fish tank. What the fuck? Mr. Turtle, what are you eating? Mr. Turtle! It's like a 1,000 gallon fucking fish tank, and they got a salmon in there. They got some ugly motherfucker in there. I forgot what kind of fish it was. And they got an aquatic turtle that he'll literally eat anything he can overpower. I swear to God. He eats goldfish. He eats frogs. This one time, my boss we had barely come back from the exotic like fish and animal store. I'm gonna give him a shout out. If you're ever in Bellflower, go to Tiki's Exotic Animal Store, dude. They got everything you need when it comes to fish tanks, starter kits. They don't have as much exotic animals as I would like. They had some scorpions, they had some tarantulas, some iguanas and shit, some hamsters, mice. I didn't see any snakes. And then I think in the way back they had like gerbils and guinea pigs and shit. But anyways, go to Tiki's Exotic Animals or Tiki's Fish Store right there in Bellflower. I forgot what street it's on, but you'll find it. They're reasonably priced, and they're good people. But anyways, the reason why I bring this store up is because they'll sell you like baby mice. Like, I'm talking about like the size of like that, like the tip of my pinky, for like $3. And this is when I learned that fucking Mother Nature does not give a flying fuck. Not just Mother Nature, but apparently my boss too. He bought like 2 of those mices, and he was gonna feed them to the fucking, not even to, because he's got snakes in here too. Maybe we'll have them on the podcast later, Carlos and Carlitos. But I don't trust handling them when I'm alone. Maybe when my boss comes back, we'll put them on the pod. I thought they were gonna be for the fucking snakes. No, it turns out it's for fucking Mr. Turtle over there. Where is that? He's right there. He's right there. Anyways, so we drop in these fucking mice. They're I'm telling you, they're the size of my fucking pinky. They can't see. They can't hear nothing. These guys are fucking just straight out the womb. And my boss just fucking flicks them in the water. And then the fucking Mr. Turtle just comes by and just whack. And you can hear them biting into them and snapping all their bones and shit. It was tight. It was tight, but that's nature for you, man. Any type of turtle too. I think even tortoises might do it, but turtles, aquatic turtles, they'll eat anything they can overpower. Anything that fits in their mouth, they'll fucking eat it. So he's the king of that castle. Yeah, those guys. You got the snakes. There's a leopard gecko somewhere. But yeah, I fell on some tough times, man. I've hit a rough patch. Unfortunately, I got kicked out of where I was staying at. So right now I'm just, you know, couch surfing, crashing wherever I can. The occasional park bench, but I mean it's all part of being the alley cat, you know. Luckily it's summer, so it's not too hot, it's not too cold, but it's gonna wait shit out, you know. I'm still working here at Gotta Leaf, and I still go to the plant store whenever I get the chance. I still go to my friend's new flower store that she opened up in Artesia. So shout out to Vanessa's Flowers. You know, I helped her fucking hand out flyers and shit. And that was a good gig. I actually noticed something very interesting about Artesia, that even though it's a city that is prominently Asian and Latino, it has a lot of similarities to like Long Beach and Compton. It's got its ghetto areas. It's got its crackheads and shit, and it's really surprised me because it's like, I mean, I get it. It's close to Norwalk, and Norwalk by itself has a pretty notorious reputation. But you would think just because it's closer to like Orange County and shit, things will be a little bit better. But I guess not. I mean, you could be out in the, you could be in Beverly Hills or some fucking fuck off town in Ohio, and oh shit, my bad, and fuck off town in Ohio, and you'll still find crackheads, you'll still find junkies. It's part of it. But Artesia was a cool city. It turns out across the street from my friend's flower store, it was really interesting. There was this, I'm going to say her ethnicity was ambiguous. She owned a store that sold both Chinese food and donuts. And that was a trip to me. Like the one side, you know, you could buy, the bear paw, the fucking cinnamon buns, ham and cheese, coffee. They had the super lotto machine in the corner. And then on the other side, like, they got beef broccoli, teriyaki chicken, orange chicken, white rice, steamed rice. What do you need? Mom be like, what you need? Oh, I think I just gave it away. But it was fucking cool. I was like, hey man, that's two industries in one. Like fucking two birds, one stone. Might as well get all that money. And in that same fucking commercial center, there was this shit tripped me out, on the same building too. I'm pretty sure there's not even a wall dividing them. It's a spa massage parlor and all you can eat, all you can drink sushi bar that opens at 5 p.m. and runs up until like 2 in the morning. That doesn't say fucking a shady tugging, what do they call them? A shady rub and tug? I don't fucking know what it is. That's about it. I mean, things in the neighborhood have been cool. Things in the alley have been cool. There's the occasional shooting and shit. Can't hang it out the cornerstone no more because it's getting too hot. But I mean, I'm not part of that whole situation. I just try to spend my afternoons here at the plant store, help out wherever I can, watering, sweeping, running errands, taking care of my nephews, and shit like that. Getting a couple clients, like I think it was today and yesterday. There was one client that we did get, and let's see, let's change her name. Miss Lucy. Miss Lucy is this older African American woman that I don't know what happened to her. It must have been because of old age or maybe diabetes, but she can't walk, so she's on one of those little scoots. And prior to her being a client of the plant store, I would actually go by her house once a week, and I'd sweep and mop her floors and wash her dishes and stuff, and it'd take me about an hour or two, and she'd shoot me $20-$30. But she came by to the plant store and she bought like I say, yesterday she bought $30 worth of shit, and today she probably bought about another $15-$20. But she really liked those plants, and she's really happy about that. And Not we, but here at the plant store, they even helped nurse her plant back to life because it was starting to die and stuff, and so it sprouted new stems, new branches, and it was really cool to see that after a couple weeks. I mean, it's so trippy just to see what they call tender loving care can really do, not just for plants, but imagine what it could do for people, animals. Like, I really hate watching those fucking videos where they find some abused dog or cat that's like fucking on the brink of death and just looking at you like, put me out of my misery. And then they just take him in, like clean them up. They bathe them. They give them some food. They find them a nice house. In a year or two, it's like they're a whole different fucking animal. I only say I hate watching them because I feel like they only do it for the sensationalism, and it's a lot of upkeep. You got to check in every 3 to 6 months to make sure the animal isn't dead yet or something. And that's why I don't like animal rescue too. Is like, you fucking give them off to the wrong foster home or the wrong pet parent, and then, I used to actually work for a lady that did cat rescue. And let's say maybe 1 in 5, 1 in 7 houses that these cats would get adopted into would be houses that ended up just being pieces of shit. And it's like, you know what? It sounds really fucked up for me to say because I love kitty cats. But they were better off just being in the street, being strays, fend for themselves. They catch mice, they shit wherever they want, and they gotta fuck, It's just part of being a feral cat. Like, these are wild animals at the end of the day. The only reason why we have some of them in our homes is because we domesticated them, and those are the ones that you keep. But the feral cats, let them be feral. Now, if you throw a couple, because I used to do this too. Now, if you throw out some food out there around the corner and they keep coming by, there's no harm or foul in that. You're kind of cutting out half of the work for them. And if you're lucky, they'll let you pet them and shit. But fuck, what were we talking about? I don't know. Let's just talk about how much of a fucking idiot I am. I thought I was going to buy 2 packs of AA batteries for my camera. Maybe I'll head down to the beach later. Maybe I'll take some pictures for the plant store. But I had thought that I bought 2 packs of AA batteries, but I bought 1 AA and 1 AAA. And guess which one was the pack that I opened first? It was the fucking AAA. Now I can't return it to the goddamn Dollar Tree. But it's fine. I'll figure something out. I'll just put some tape on it. Nothing tape can't fix besides my heart and my liver. Cheers to that. But yeah, in case you're wondering what I'm sipping on, and I hope you guys are sipping on something too. Maybe smoking a joint, smoking a cigarette. It's all good, It's the whole point of the Outcast. Just sit back, roll a joint, have a drink, and have a good time. But I'm sipping on fucking... If you ever want to make a good drink, it's called a Gypsy. What you do is you mix... you get a glass, you fill it up with ice. Mostly to the top, let's say about 3/4. And then you fill about 1/4 of it to about 1/2, depending on how strong you like your drink, of any strong liquor you have, whether it's vodka, whiskey, tequila, absinthe, moonshine. It don't fucking matter. Just fill it up to how much you think you can tolerate. And then you fill the rest up with Diet Coke. That's the main ingredient, people. It's the main ingredient to the Gypsy is the Diet Coke. And you want to know why? And this is how you know I'm a fucking scientific drunk. I'm Rick right here, from Rick and Morty. I'm Rick Sanchez, all right? We do it scientific here. Neil deGrasse Tyson, holler at me. The aspartame, since it's a synthetic sugar, it helps you absorb alcohol about 15% faster than if it was just regular soda, because usually if it's regular soda, it's like high fructose corn syrup, and that takes a minute for it to be processed with your body, and then somehow the way the alcohol binds to those sugar compounds, it's about what regular people drink. That's fine and dandy. If you get regular cane sugar, like Mexican Coke, it's organic, man, but it's the same fucking process. But the aspartame, since it tricks your body into thinking that sugar is coming in, whatever does come in it, especially because alcohol does have some type of sugar in it. Maybe not vodka because that's all potato alcohol, but if you're drinking whiskey or tequila, there's some type of sugar that gets binded into the alcohol, and then since your body is tricked into thinking that sugar is coming in, and it doesn't, whatever does come in, it fucking sucks the living shit out of it when it comes to energy and absorption of alcohol. And that's why a lot of people still get fat even though they drink Diet Coke. But you know what? They can fuck right off. I'm not here for a diet. I just like the way Diet Coke tastes. And if you don't like the way Diet Coke tastes, you're entitled to your opinion, and I can't say anything about that. But that's my favorite soda. Especially because it doesn't fucking give me... it doesn't excite my fucking saliva glands where it hurts. Anyways, there's your science lesson for today. At least if you come to the Alley Cat podcast, you can't say you didn't learn something. Let's see what else I got in the bucket. I got some water, some ice, Coke, vodka. I'll probably go get a beer later if they come in on time. Oh, shit. If not, fuck it. We're just going to be here rambling on for about, let's see how much time we're looking at. 21:47. Man. Let's see. I'm not much of a TV watcher. Most of my media is consumed through podcasting. Those who know me personally know I'm a huge fan of Your Mom's House, Dr. Drew After Dark, The Donnie Brown Show, Two Bears, One Cave, Tiger Belly, Bad Friends. We can go down the whole fucking list. Basically, podcasts consume about 90% of the media that I consume. But I recently stumbled upon a gem. Now, yeah, a gem and then like a silver medal of a TV show that I just absolutely fucking fell in love with. And that is War on the Ape. Now, some of my older fans or viewers, or the one guy that actually listens to this podcast, for those who don't remember, back in the day, we used to have this channel called MTV. And for a while, they actually played music television. They played fucking music videos all day and shit. We had Headbangers Ball back in the late 90s, fucking Marilyn Manson and Pantera and shit would show up and shit. But towards the 2000s, fucking network executives were like, you know what these kids need? Relatable reality television. And then we had things like fucking The Jersey Shore, and actually I like Pimp My Ride, but that was on MTV3, which was supposed to appeal to the Latino market, but fuck, I hate it when they do that shit. Anyways, no, VH1 was better because they had I love the 80s, I love the 70s. But anyways, all I remember from MTV was like Meet the Osbournes, fucking I think maybe Celebrity Rehab. I don't fucking know. I wasn't part of that thing. I was in the outskirts of it, but I heard about it. Anyways, I recently stumbled upon this gold gem of a show called Warren the Ape. Now, for those who may not know about it and want to get some context, two names in comedy. One that I feel like is a hack, but he's successful. I can't talk shit about him. And the other one that I'm like, I respect this person a lot, and I'll let you pick. I'll let you guess which one is the one of which. The three main leads on this show was Seth Green, Sarah Silverman, and then that Jewish guy who was the fada on American Pie with the big bushy eyebrows. The one who said that We're not going to tell your mother about this. We're going to tell her that we ate it after fucking that one guy fucked the pie. Anyways, that was the original series, and it was a series called Greg the Bunny, which, even following the first season, the development of the main character, Greg the Bunny, I did not like. Anyways, this show gets canceled after 3 seasons, and MTV does one of the smartest things they've ever done ever since they, ever since they've done nothing. They've always made stupid decisions. Anyways, they do a spin-off series called Warren the Ape, and Warren on Greg the Bunny was like one of those side characters that was really underdeveloped, at least in that show. There is a humanitarian version of him. There was him who thought he was a thespian even though he was working on a Sesame Street ripoff. There was something relatable to Warren. But anyways, so Warren the Ape, the whole premise of that, and I wish it had, it's like one of those shows like My Name is Earl, where it's like, you couldn't have more seasons. Why'd you have to cancel it? Anyways, Warren the Ape. It's a 1-season, 13-episode series about Warren the Ape from fucking Greg the Bunny, who apparently, after they canceled Greg the Bunny, went into a downward spiral of drugs, sex, alcohol, and just general depravity. And apparently his doctor is the most famous Dr. Drew Pinsky, which I'm pretty sure we've mentioned on this podcast before. Tells him to go to AA, NA meetings. He tells him how to make amends. And I like it because it shows Dr. Drew Pinsky as a professional, as a drug addiction counselor. But I also like how Warren derails from what Dr. Drew is trying to teach him and ends up learning that lesson in the end. And I love sitcoms like that. It's just like My Name is Earl. But anyways, Warren the Ape, he's a failed actor. He gets himself into these fucked up situations. Not staying sober, by the way. I'm sorry, Dr. Drew. I don't know if you didn't know, but Warren the Ape the entire time. I mean, he was clean, but he wasn't sober. It just shows he's just trying to get back on his feet. And he's just trying to do what's trying to do. Even though he sabotages people's relationships and things like that. It just shows a very humanitarian underdog things, and I very much relate to that. And I just love Warren the Ape. I love his cadence. I love how sarcastic he is. If there was any other character besides Earl Hickey, let's see, what the characters are related to? Earl Hickey, Warren the Ape, It's about, Wilfred, the Australian version, because the American version sucks. Not Wilfred per se, but Adam from Wilfred. Because something about the way girls love their dogs just makes us dudes feel like, oh, she could dump me at any time. And she's not even going to miss me. Well, that's about it. I mean, at least in modern times, maybe as a child or a teenager I related to other characters, but those are the 3 ones that stuck out for the most part. Oh, by the way, I don't remember if it was yesterday or today, but rest in peace to Jerry Springer. Maybe by the time this episode comes out, it's going to be old news. Oh, and I have another rest in peace that I need to address, but right now, this is the one off the top of my head. Is Jerry Springer. Rest in peace, old man. I know a lot of people like to talk shit about Jerry Springer, how it's trash TV, it's rehearsed, and all he really seems to do is kind of just bring out the worst in people, which I understand that sentiment. I get it. He's doing it for the sensationalism. He's profitizing off of, some would say, the misery of others, or the foolishness or the embarrassment of others, but really, when I try to think about it, and this is my AP literature argumentative self coming out, I feel like Jerry Springer kind of just gave a platform for people to really let out their animalistic selves when it comes to fighting and being trailer trash and fucking trannies and infidelity and things like that. And even though it was sensationalized in comparison to the other 2-3 programs that were on KTLA and Fox 11 during that morning talk show block, I try to think of it like this. Jerry Springer saw that and tried to conclude some type of theme or moral lesson at the end of the day. But what I really liked about Jerry Springer at the end of it, it doesn't matter how many weaves he pulled out on the show. It doesn't matter how many marriages he ruined. It doesn't matter how many men showed their ass or chicks showed their tits on TV just to get their jury beads. But at the end of the day, all he ever asked of us was to take care of ourselves and each other. And I feel like in the bittersweet irony of all that mess, it's kind of like him saying, like, you could have prevented this if you just took care of yourself and each other. If you were true to yourself and the people around you, you wouldn't have to end up on Jerry Springer. You know? Steve Wilkos took on more serious topics, you know, rape, child molestation, infidelity. And I liked him because he was more serious. He was an ex-cop. You know? I mean, he was bald, but still blonde-haired, blue-eyed, white guy, dishing out justice and shit. I mean, it was more serious. I just loved it whenever he would throw a chair and people be like, Steve! And then Maury was more ghetto. Maury was more for a demographic of women who had shitty baby daddies that don't want to be the father and they want to watch that drama all over again. It's like Jenny Rivera. And for anyone who knows me personally, you know how much I hate Jenny Rivera. And I will say this publicly. I don't care. This is my podcast. Unfiltered, uncensored, freedom of speech. I'm totally aware of the social, financial, and whatever repercussions I face. But basically, it's the same logic as Jenny Rivera. The only people who are fans of Jenny Rivera are fat, drunk Mexican women that are mad at their ex because they left him for a finer-looking woman. And left him with 3 kids that he's not taking care of. So, yeah. Thanks, Mom. And her studio's not that far down the street. Her dad's studio is right here on Market Street, and I forgot what the other one is, but I don't know. There's a memorial to her down the street right here on Atlantic by the staffing agency, and every time I pass by it, I throw a paper airplane because I have a fucked up sense of humor. That's what I think of that. But yes, I will say this with full-hearted contempt, hatred. I'm glad you died the way you did. I'll see you in hell, Jenny. You too, Chiquis. You're a fucking slut. And again, I am entitled to my opinion. You're entitled to yours. So let's leave it at that. We can agree to disagree. You know, when I die, you can spit on my grave. But haha, I'm gonna be cremated. So good luck with that. Let's see, what else? Fucking how much time we're looking at? 34 minutes? Man! What else we got to talk about? Plants, smoke, weed, 420. How did I spend 420? Oh, how did I spend 420? Fuck, let's clear the air. Let's clear the air. I was supposed to play a comedy show on 420 in Hollywood. I know I fucking gassed everybody up about it. Alright, I get it. I was gonna say I'm the shit. I got my 8-10 minute set ready. I'm gonna fucking murder. But this is what I hate about pay-to-play venues, and I will call this out. I mean, who the fuck am I? I'm just a podcaster who's got 20 views. Who gives a fuck? But this is another pay-to-play venue. They told me you got to sell 3 tickets, which they were $15 a pop, no problem. You got to sell 3 tickets. If not, we're not going to give you time. I didn't sell fucking 3 tickets, all right? None of my friends or none of my fans, I don't even fucking know if I have fans. None of my friends hit me up being like, hey, dude, I bought a ticket just to let you know. All right? 3 motherfuckers. I couldn't get 3 motherfuckers. All right? That shows your fucking loyalty. And it wasn't like it was, I sent out the link, and it wasn't like personalized, like, oh, use the code word Gypsy so we know that, you know, it's fucking Gypsy's ticket you're buying. And so, since I didn't get any of that, I just didn't fucking show up. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to go to Hollywood, waste my fucking time, be in the audience, listen to another fucking comic who's just as bad, if not worse, or better than I am, go up on stage, and then when time comes for me to go up on stage, I don't get fucking my 8-10 minutes because I didn't sell fucking 3 tickets. And even if I did, I know I'm gonna bomb. Fuck all that, dude. Fuck pay to play. Listen, I may not be a comedy owner, I like the way they do it at Third Wheel. Alright? You go up at midnight, it's free, you sign up, you want to buy a drink, you buy it. We're not going to pay you, but you ain't got to pay to play. So fuck it. That's a good system. But pay to play, they don't do that just to comics. They do that to musicians too, calling you out. Chain Reaction, fucking Whiskey A Go-Go, what's the other one? House of Blues. And I get it. Bring in an audience. If you can't sell tickets, we're not going to have you there. But don't do that shit to fucking amateur bands that the only people that are showing up to their shows are like their moms and the dog. Fuck, I'm sorry. I get all fired about this shit, dude, because it's like so much fucking effort goes into this shit just for you to see it as a commodity. It's like, nah, man. But I get it. It's a product. We gotta sell it. Alright? Fuck. I should probably start my own comedy venue. Listen, if you're not gonna pay me, don't charge me, alright? And if you're not gonna pay me, at least fucking shoot me a beer or something. Make it worth my effort to go down from Long Beach to Hollywood on the fucking train. Hollywood, LA, Sun Valley, Anaheim, Hermosa Beach, wherever the fuck I'm going. And I get it, I'm not that funny, especially after, we should talk about that too, Third Wheel Comedy. And just because I'm honest here, this is what we're all about here at the Alley Cat Podcast. It's honesty, clarity. We're going to tell shit how it is, even if we don't like it. I fucking bombed the last time I went to Third Wheel Comedy. That's the only reason why I haven't showed my face there, dude. I was drunk as shit. I was doing old material that fucked up. See, I thought if I pre-gamed it and then maybe have a beer and shit, I'd loosen up and shit, but I gotta do it like I used to do it in college. When I used to be in a band, it's like 3 drinks. 3 drinks a day, and you have one last one before I go up on stage, and you'll be alright. Fucking, what did I have that day? I think I had another fucking $4 bottle of Crystal Palace on the way there. I had a King Cobra on the train, and then I had a couple of fucking CJs in my canteen. Man, by the time I went up, I was ripped. I don't remember my set. All I remember is that I know that I bombed. I got off stage and I just went home. I was like, you know what? I'm not dealing with this shit. But I'm gonna get back on the horse. I just need a couple weeks to recover. Come up with some new material. Find other comedy spots, other open mics where hopefully people don't know me. And we're not giving up here on the Alley Cat Podcast. We're not giving up on art. We're not giving up on music. We're not giving up on comedy. I mean, I got some murals to do here at the Gotta Leaf Studios, and I gotta finish writing that song, which will be the first song I've written in over fucking 5 years. Cause I had a lot of lyrics and loose ideas somewhere in a notebook and on my phone and shit, but being a degenerate that I am, it's kind of hard to even fucking play a chord sometimes. But we're gonna get her done, and I'm not gonna make any promises, especially because I'm on record here. But May 1st opens up registration for my classes, which is like 3 days away. And hopefully in the fall I'll be going back to school. I gotta make up a bunch of classes to go back to Cal State Long Beach, and I just want to fucking finish my degree. Excuse me. On a humanistic level, on a realistic level, because you guys know I wear my heart on my sleeve. Ask anybody who fucking knows me personally. I ain't got no secrets. Besides the fact that I bought a pocket pussy, but even then, like, I want to go back to school, man. It's fucking embarrassing the fact that I'm going on 26 and I don't even have a fucking AA. I don't have a fucking AA, dude. And it's shitty because I try to apply to jobs and shit, and they're like, I mean, half the time I lie. I've gotten submit so many jobs that I was severely underqualified for. But nowadays they're checking up on that shit. Like about a month ago, I had a job interview and be like, well, can you give us that information on your BA? Can you send us some transcripts or maybe a copy of your diploma? And I was like, let's see, yeah, it's gonna take a little bit of time for that, maybe after the semester, because I need to finish up some classes. Like, I really had to fucking just put some spit on it, you know what I'm saying? Right before I get fucked. But most definitely, I'm looking forward to going back to school because I like learning, and it'll be a good opportunity for me to meet people who want to join my team, who want to start a band or collaborate on art, be part of the Alley Cat podcast, or you know, I could set up flyers for next time I have a comedy show that I probably want to attend to, but you know, I don't know. I feel like it's an episode of, and that's going back to those early 2000s MTV sitcoms, but it's like when Tommy Lee went back to college. Except I'm not a rock star, and I'm not gonna pay for a $1,000 surround system. But you know what I'm trying to say. Man. College. LBCC seems kind of cool. But yeah, get this show on the road. May 1st classes, financial aid, podcast. I really got to get some guests on here. Now that I'm here at the Gotta Leave Studios, which has decent Wi-Fi, I could probably call in some people on Zoom. We just need to get the scheduling right, get the lighting right, because right now it's a little off, it's a little bright, but it's nothing we can't fix in post. And fuck. Oi! Oi! Gotta get some guests on here, because I love having guests. Like when I had Andrew and Wilmer. I think my boss said he might be on the pod. That'd be really interesting to talk about. And there's a catfish in there too. I'm waiting for him to get really big so I can fry that fucker up. Yeah, I'm looking at you, motherfucker. I'ma eat ya. Ah, fucking, what was that fat bastard from Austin Powers? How much time we're looking at? 45 minutes. We're about halfway there. Other than that, man, I mean, life goes on. Try to find where you fit in. Try to make the most of every day. Find something to do that's productive, conducive to your ambition. At least to my ambitions. I mean, something I learned in recovery. Don't say you, say me, I. Refer in first person, because not everybody's the same. And plus, I mean, who am I to tell you how to live your life? Shit. Oh, that reminds me, Miss Lillian. Like I said, she came in yesterday and she came in today and she bought a bunch of plants, but I spent the morning with her. And that was really interesting. Let's see, we went to the bank. We went to the post office so she can pay her rent. And then we went to Tam's and she bought me a burger. So, man, because my stomach shrunk, dude. That burger gave me the itis. I was like, I need to take I need to take a nap. And I wasn't even drunk or anything. I only had like one beer in the morning. That shit gave me the itis. For my viewers who aren't local to California, Tam's is like, it's like a mom and pop burger joint that they have one here in Long Beach. They have one in Downey. They have one in, well, no, that's Tom's, not Tam's. What did I say? They have one in Compton. And I think they might have one in Bellflower. I don't fucking know, but oh yeah, Bellflower. They have one right there by the high school. And reasonably priced, good burgers. It's just I heard that the one here in Long Beach sucks the most, but I mean that's the one I grew up with. So what can I say? There's a little bit of a bias in there. That's what I think of that. Let's see, what else have I done recently? A friend of mine says he wants to open up a gym here on the north side. And so if you see my Instagram lately, you've seen that I posted a drawing of a jaguar with a boxing, what do they call it? A boxing helmet or some shit? Basically, if you get socked up inside the head, you won't suffer a concussion is what it is for. See, it's cool. But let's see, what else can we talk about? Let me check my phone. Let's check. I haven't checked our email ever since our last Q&A. I'm pretty sure. I think I gave really bad fucking advice. If nobody else has submitted anything to the fucking Q&A section here at the Alley Cat. Scam account, scam account, scam account, scam account. Don't you love it when the Don't you love it when the fake cam girl accounts support you more than your actual fucking friends? Oh shit. Alright, that's personal email. That's not the Alley Cat. It's like I'll post a drawing and then half of my fucking likes are from Alyssa Santino 1234567 and that's like half of them, and then like the other one's like someone I actually fucking know. Yeah, your subscription has risk of cancellation. Yeah, you gave me a 3-month free trial. What do you think I'm gonna do? Fuck you, Amazon. Rumble. Yeah, I actually don't have any fucking emails. But hey, if you need some bad advice, and I'm actually going to give you some decent advice at the end of it too, like it's not just jokes. Please submit your questions. Like I really want to have a fulfilled, full of questions Q&A section, like the alleycatpodcast@gmail.com. Again, that's the alleycatpodcast@gmail.com. That's the alleycatpodcast@gmail.com without the E. And I'll go ahead and answer all your questions. Make sure to like, comment. I'm not going to close it out, but I'm just going to plug this shit just because I have nothing else to talk about. Fuck. Let's talk about something deep. Something deep, man. Some shit that hurts. Today's the 28th. A couple days ago, it's my friend Sean's birthday. He's this African American guy that lives here in the neighborhood, and in Spanish we say the word tocayo. which means like that you have the same first name as me. You know, if I'm Juan and you're Juan, Tocayo. You know. But I call him Tocayo because he suffers from the same ailment as me. He's blind in one eye. I'm blind from my right eye. I think he's blind from his left eye or something. Fucking rude. So when I see him, I call him Tocayo, you know, because we suffer from the same ailment of monocular vision, and it's pretty sucky, but it makes for some really comedic moments. Like this one time, me and him were just hanging out here at the plant store, and we bump into each other on our blind sides, and it was funny because we turn at the same time, at the same rate, at the same angle, and we're like, "Oh shit, my bad, dude," and we said at the same time, and we're both like, "Oh no, it's cool." And when you think about it in hindsight, it's like, oh yeah, right, because he's got a blind side too. Oh fuck, all that gas. By the way, I have fucking acid reflux, gastritis, and IBS. So if I fucking sound disgusting on this mic, thanks for making fun of my medical condition. But he's my tocayo, and it was his birthday a couple days ago. April 25th. I mean, we got drunk. We ate pizza. We had a good time. And I tried my best to repress it in the back of my memory, but April 25th is the same birthday as my ex-wife. And I know it's been 3 years now. 2023, 2020. 2021 was when I sent her that shit from rehab. It's about 2-3 years. I think. Hope she's alright. Hope she's happy. I hope we meet in another life. Now I was thinking that while I took fucking a big old swig from a tequila bottle, thinking, fuck that bitch! I can live without her! No, man. There's always gonna be the one that got away, man. And it doesn't matter if you're a man, woman, non-binary, trans, Zimzer, even snail. It's always gonna be the one that got away. You can try to fill that hole as much as you can. You can try to bury it in sex, drugs, rock and roll. But you just can't. They're gonna see you someday, doubting about, wondering, not wondering, but thinking, this is why I left. But now is not the time to think about that, because we're here at the Alley Cat Podcast, and we're all here about drinking beers and taking steers and hanging out with queers. So, you know, sometimes you need to reminisce. You need to be the thinking man, or woman, or non-binary, Zimzer, snail. Oh shit! That just reminded me. Fuck, hold on. Oh, I need to take a big gulp for this one. So, those of you who follow me on Instagram and Facebook and whatever the fuck, lately I've been posting or resharing this fucking video on my Instagram stories where it's like, and she's kind of cute. It's just it wasn't for the fact that she was like a very far left, fucking feminist looking broad, because she doesn't look like a bitch. She seems like a decent girl. I don't want to be so misogynistic and hating on the left, because politically I don't give a fuck. But anyways, this is, holy fuck. When they take like mental health and LGBTQ XYZ issues to the extreme, I just stand back and think, People are just making excuses for everything. I could shit in the middle of a library and be like, "Oh, I'm autistic, so I'm sorry." It's not really. We'll get into that later. And fuck, I don't want to get into it. I know I'm saying some controversial shit, but wait for the bit, okay? Fuck. Anyways, so this broad's in her car, and she's like, "Driving can be really hard for autistic people." And oh my god, I swear to fuck, it's a bunch of people just crashing into shit, fucking up their cars. And the soundtrack is the Rock and Roll McDonald's jingle from Super Size Me. And fuck, I can't help myself but laugh. It is so fucking funny. Listen, I understand the trials and tribulations that autistic people and those surrounding them, whether they be family or friends or parents, have to deal day to day with someone who doesn't understand that you're not supposed to chew on Legos in the middle of a family reunion. But that shit is hilarious. And I know it's on a spectrum. Trust me, I used to have a babysitter that her nephew was autistic, and to be honest, I didn't really notice much of a difference between him and other kids. He just really liked trains. He really liked Thomas the Train. I mean, it's been a couple years since he should have grown out of it, but I never judged him. I mean, shit, alright, for context, I must have been 7 or 8 years... No, not 7, 8, not that young. I must have been like 8, 9 years old. My mom's a fucking struggling single mother. My sister must have been 1 or 2 years old. She was really young. And this lady used to take care of me and my sister, and her son was autistic. And I mean, God bless this woman for having to take care of, not just care of her autistic son, but take care of all these 2 motherfuckers who aren't even hers. But I just remember him, and let me see if I can do an impression of him without being offensive. But I remember his name is, let's say with Alvin. His name is Alvin. Alvin would be like, "Thomas the Train likes to run down the track." And I'd be like, "Yeah, man, do you want to make like a figure 8 or something?" Like, I didn't see any fucking difference with him between him and the other kids up until, I was like maybe 15, 16. And I was like, yeah, like Alvin was autistic the entire time. And I was like, I didn't see a difference. She'd be like, yeah, he needed special classes and shit. I'm like, I mean, when he shake my hand, his grip was a little bit too tight, but something I can't deal with. But I remember I was taking this training course for a job to become a behavioral technician, which I never followed through for. That's a story for another time, and I want to be the asshole because, I do my research on, like, fucking psychological concepts. Like, I'm not just a fucking drunkard, idiot, asshole that just talks shit. Like, I actually like to sit down and read about shit. Like, one of my favorite books is, like, the DSM-5, like, the most updated copy, which deals with all, like, the mental health disorders and paraphilias as of the last updated version. But when the training program was talking about how you basically use like a treat or a toy or something as a reward system to reinforce positive reinforcement, I was in the Zoom training going like, so it's like Pavlov's dog, right? Like, you do a good thing, I give you a fucking treat. You do a bad thing, I don't give it to you. Like, how rudimentary is the thought process of some of these kids? And I don't want to be an asshole. It's just me being realistic. It's like, fucking A. What am I supposed to do here? And some of these kids, like, I know I said that joke earlier about, like, chewing on Legos, but that happens. Like, these kids just get fixated on a behavior, on a thing, and it's just, like, interesting to watch. But on the real, autism is very much a very stressful thing for a lot of friends and family of people who go through it. And if you have a loved one that is autistic, my heart goes out to you. Please understand that these are jokes. If you knew me in person, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't see any difference between the autistic person and the non-autistic person. I mean, I would. I just wouldn't say anything. But who gives a shit? I mean, whether it's autistic or Down syndrome or cerebral palsy, whatever type of mental health disorder that is going on, like they are willing to lead fulfilled and full lives. I mean, shit, I'm blind from one eye. I probably have ADD, ADHD, maybe some type of narcissism and fucking social psychopath shit. But I mean, you're not gonna find the bodies. That's all I gotta say. But man, that shit went dark quick. But I had fun with that. That was fun. But yeah, I even dated a girl that had a child with autism. Let's say her name is Carol. So Carol was 10 years older than me. She was my college. Stupid bitch didn't even want me to call her a girlfriend. College fling. But she had a daughter. Let's see, she was 10 years old at that time. So, let's see, I was 19 at the time. She was 10. I'm 25. So she's probably about 15. I'm pretty sure. Let's call the kid's name Lucy. Lucy had her quinceañera by now. If Carol followed the tradition of Mexican American shit. I mean, Lucy had autism, and she'd kind of just stare off into space, give you that dead stare into a corner. But she was a good kid. I mean, her mom would get so stressed out. It was really bad to see. She'd all get all mad at her, and I tried my best to be a good mom's boyfriend and be like, hey, dude, come on, dude. You gotta remember, she's not all there, you know? Cut her some slack. Don't yell at her. And she was a good kid. I remember me and Lucy would hang out alone. Like, this is when I realized I would make a really good stepdad. So, ladies, if you're single and you got kids, and take it from my friends that have kids. I'm the good bad uncle. I'm gonna be the good bad stepdad. Anyways, let me take a sip before I can recount this story. Might need more vodka. No, it's perfect. Maybe on the next batch. Anyways, so me, Carol, and Lucy were hanging out at Staples, the local Staples right here on Atlantic, by Alberto's. By the way, really good Mexican restaurant. If you never had Alberto's, you're missing out. Carol needed to print out some what the fuck she needed to print out? Some business cards for a design class or some shit. And I really hated the fact that she had like, it's gonna sound really fucked up because I'm pretty sure she's gonna watch this podcast. She had no original thought. So instead of like coming up with her own design, she just ripped off Star Wars, which I'm all for. I love Star Wars. Trust, we could talk about that if we have time. But like, bitch, you couldn't come up with your own fucking design? I know I did it with mine. Even though I spliced it on Photoshop and some of it was drawn. Anyways, who gives a shit? Excuse me. Anyways, so we're there at Staples, and you know, she's trying to get the design right. She has to print shit in and out, and we were there for about, I want to say legit 2 hours. And Lucy was getting all fucking ramped up and fired up, and you know how kids are. They want to play with shit. And so I'm running around with her around the store. We're playing with the chairs at the Staples and stuff. And then eventually I get her to sit down, and we made like a chess game. She like picked a calendar off of the side of a stand, and then she got a bunch of like these little mini rolls of like decorative duct tape and shit. We played chess on the calendar, and it was really creative of her. And I was like, well, you know what? These kids are all right, you know. She may not understand when I said let go to let go, but you know, while she's crushing my fucking wrist in half. But I mean, she's creative, and she has a whole different side of her that I feel like her mother doesn't seem to understand. And that's when I gained a lot of sympathy for kids with autism. And as much as like to crack jokes and seem like an asshole, and you might think I have something against them, I don't. It's just I don't know, man. I don't like it when people use it as an excuse, because I've met some real autistic people, and just because you're socially awkward and you can't get a hint, or you can't roll with a bit in a situation, you want to say, I'm autistic. Like, that's really undermining an actual mental health disorder that a lot of people suffer from. And I can't talk shit because I literally just did the same thing. But I'm willing to admit it, you know? But yeah, autism rules. I forgot what fucking... Let's check the Google machine. I forgot what their fucking month is. I think it's like in April or some shit. I know they do have Autism Awareness Month. Which is funny because I got a cousin who has Asperger's, which is like autism, but they're smart, is like the way my other cousin put it, his brother. Like, he's really good at math. He's actually a substitute teacher, and I love my cousin Vinny, my cousin Vinny. There you go, my cousin Vinny with the Asperger's. Okay, don't you come around here talking about Asperger's. I'm talking about my cousin Vinny. Autism Awareness. Yeah, it was close. April. We're still in. How appropriate. How appropriate. I didn't even fucking know about it. World Autism Awareness Month. Women's History. Oh, okay. Ramadan for the Muslims. Earth Day. Passover. Black Friday. Man. Halloween. Let's see what else we got coming up. Oh, Mother's Day. Here, I'm pretty sure this episode will come out before Mother's Day, but just in case, apart from my birthday, it's going to be Mother's Day. Shout out to all my mothers out there, all right? All my mommies with their fat mommy milkers. Shout out to all the single mothers out there. Shout out to the mothers who are married, who have multiple kids. You know, like, moms are the best, man. Not just the MILFs, all right? Even the ones that look like India Maria that are hauling fucking 3-4 kids walking on the bus and the train and shit to get them on time for school. Bien vestidos, as we say in Spanish, with their hair pulled back where you can see the white of their eyes because their braids are so tight. Shout out to you mothers, alright? Alright? Ain't nothing. That's like Day of the Goddess for pagans and shit. Fuck Father's Day. We'll talk about that in June, but Mother's Day is coming up, and I know this episode's going to come up by then. But for right now, it's Autism Awareness Month. Black History Month, which I believe was this month or last month. You know, shout out Black Pride, even though I'm not black. You know, if you really want to celebrate Black History Month, put on a fake afro with a t-shirt that has a line on it, listen to Bob Marley and smoke some weed, and pretend, especially if you're white, pretend you actually give a shit about what black people go through. No, all jokes aside, Black History Month is the shit. Especially because I remember I had a history teacher, and he was white, which makes sense because he did marry a black woman. He actually talked about like, oh no, that was my English teacher in 7th grade. We read what was that author's name? I don't remember his name off the top of my head right now, but I will remember it when we're not talking about it. But we did read Aretha Thurman and Thomas Douglas. That's who we read. We read Thomas Douglas's shit. Imagine a 7th grade English teacher, and it wasn't even AP. It was just regular English. He cared that much about Black American authors that he had us read Thomas Douglas in 7th grade. And there's a lot of awesome fucking African American writers out there, and jazz musicians. Like, let's talk about fucking B.B. King, Albert King, fucking Louis Armstrong, fucking the bass player, what's his name? I know his name. Victor Wooten. Fuck, who else? Stevie Wonder, Bob Marley. Like, just a bunch of fucking people I can go down the list of. But very much Black History Month. And then Women's History Month. I mean, women's suffrage. women's rights movement, the sexual revolution of the 60s and 70s, the right to abortions, the right to vote. I mean, listen, guys, it's not that hard. Give the ladies what they want. Equal pay for the same amount of work, reproductive health or rights, and don't give them shit if they're a slut. That's all they fucking want. Literally. And I might sound like an asshole, but it's true. Alright? I've been around enough women. I grew up with 2 women. It's not that fucking hard. You guys just want to make it that way because you want to be in control of them. You want them to fuck you and own you. Trust me, I know it's because that's a fucking subconscious thing that I think all the time. We can't control them. They're people too. They might not have a penis, but they're people too. Fuck, that was bad. Oh, fuck. But, man, there's a lot of things going on in April. In May, we just got... Oh, Easter. I really hated Easter. Usually because I'm not a fan of chocolate or bunnies or eggs. Jesus. I just liked it when we'd get those Easter baskets full of toys and shit, and I would get like fucking guns and like toy guns and shit. That was always fun. I just wanted the Easter baskets. Fuck the hunt. Fuck all that shit. Is what I think of that. Peeps suck. By the way, PSA here at the Alley Podcast, we do not advocate peeps. In no context, no form. At least I do, because I don't know about my team when I get it. Peeps fucking suck. It's a marshmallow coated in months long painted sugar and just tastes like ugh. I'd rather eat a real chick. And I'm not talking about a woman. I'm talking about like I'd rather get a fucking chick off of the ranch and just stick it in my mouth, fucking Ozzy Osbourne style. Oh, go fuck your mother. Rabbit is good. If you never had rabbit, I've tasted it. It tastes like chicken. Let's see how much time we got. Yeah, we got 15 minutes. We can wrap it up with some random ass fucking story. I got a crazy uncle who's a hunter. I mentioned him on the podcast. Uncle Rudy. He's my dad's cousin. What in Spanish we say primo hermano, so that means that his mother is my grandfather's sister on my dad's side. So my daddy's daddy is his mama's sister. And so those two were cousins, and he's my uncle. But I don't mean to get too sentimental on you guys, but again, it's the Alley Cat Podcast. We're fucking real here. I wear my heart on my sleeve. This uncle was more of a father to me than my actual father was, especially during and after the divorce. I mean, taught me how to ride a bike, both with training wheels and without them. Taught me how to fix my bike. Taught me how to shoot a gun. Taught me how to hunt. He taught me gun safety, so if I encounter a gun, I know how to fucking empty the clip, take out the one in the chamber, and make sure it's safe, and leave it alone. Call an authority if possible. Because kids aren't supposed to be around guns, man. At least in my humble opinion. And if they do, they need to know how to handle it so that nobody gets fucking shot. Anyways, this guy's a hunter, and I must have been 11, 12 years old, and I think it was my second hunting trip with him, because I only went hunting with him about 3 times. Yeah, it was at night. We were in Bakersfield, because we spent the weekend there, so it was 2 days and 1 night. During the day, we would hunt. In Spanish, we say palomas. In English, they're called mourning doves. They look like pigeons, but they're light brown. They're pale, and they have like a little call that goes. There we go. It's a higher pitch. And the females, I forgot how I went. I know one of them is a little bit grayer. I know a little bit one is more browner. But anyways, we would hunt those with just fuck, what kind of guns we used? I think we used 12 gauge shotguns. It's either 12, nah, it was a 12 or a 20 gauge, depending on the distance. But at night, my uncle would give me a BB gun, and he'd hold a flashlight, and we'd walk around Bakersfield at night. You know, out in the fields. I'm talking about way out in the fields, man. Way out in the fields. There's a river. There's the moon. You can see the stars. You can hear a coyote stalking you about 50 yards down that way. But we'd be out there with the light and hunting wabbits. Hunting wabbits. And I had the BB gun locked and loaded. And, fucking, I got one right in the eye. He was like, cause, you know, you guys know, if you guys know me in real life, my name is Najib. But my uncle, he used to say, Naivo. That was my, hey, if I ever start doing stupid stunts like Steve-O, that's going to be my new stage name is Naivo. Anyways, he'd be like, Naivo, over there. He shined the light at the little fucker, and he'd stand up like this on his feet, looking around and shit, and I just go, bah! There was no kick to it. It was a fucking BB gun. But I nail him like right in the head, like just above the eye, like here on the side, because they're prey, so their eyes are on the side of their head. Just boom, right above the eye, and it knocks him out. For a quick second, we run over to him, and he's all in shock and shit, just doing this, convulsing, and just. My uncle's like, put him out of his misery. And fucking A. And luckily I had a knife on him. It sounds really fucked up to say, but I slit his throat, and I was like, I'm sorry, dude, but law of the land. And so slit his little throat, let him bleed out. I say a quick little prayer for him before I stick him in the bag, and we take him back and we fry him up. We make some little taquitos out of rabbit. We did the same thing with the snake, but it was a baby snake, and those are really fucking poisonous. Like this motherfucker almost crawled up one of our boots. It was a rattlesnake probably about the size of my hand. And the thing about rattlesnakes is that when they're babies is that they're more poisonous than the adult ones. So you got to really make sure you tighten up your bootstraps when you go out hunting or when you fall asleep out on the camp. So same thing, you know, fucking shot him with the BB gun. Except this time, instead of slitting his throat, I just got the bottom of the BB gun, just popped his little head cracked open, and yeah, we fried him on the coals. Tasted like chicken. But that fucking rabbit, man, oh fuck, I hate him. This is when I learned a real lesson in life. All right, you know, you might think you might be a man because you go out there and you hunt shit. You know, you got your big old gun, and you go out there and you shoot down a deer or a bear or something, but someone's got to gut that motherfucker and take it home, you know? And there's a lot of hunters out there, and I'm gonna end this podcast with some hunting stuff that I've observed. A lot of hunting men just bring a big old dead deer and slap it on the kitchen table and tell their wife, like, hey, gut that shit, bitch, I'm gonna go have some beers and hang out with the boys. But a real hunter guts that motherfucker on the sight. You know, you get a big old fucking blade, you know, and you tear from the neck down. You take out the liver, you take out the lungs, the heart and everything. You fucking what my uncle taught me to do was kind of just chuck it in a corner in the bushes where the coyotes will eat it. But the thing about birds is that they have this big old sack right here that collects all the seed, and when you fucking crack their head, their neck off and chop it off with the blade, it's like all those seeds fall out and shit. It's kind of cool. It's like a little beanbag. You gotta fucking take out the feathers and peel that shit, and it really makes you think about like where you, like now as an adult, I like to sit and think about it. It makes you really think about where you are on the food chain, because imagine if some alien species from like the planet Zimzer came by and they're the dominant species and they start hunting us down and they start gunning us, and we become nothing but pigeons and rabbits to them. I mean, the only difference between pigeons and rabbits and us is the fact that we are sentient and we assign value to things, and they're just really just operating on a reptilian brain level. And it's not me advocating veganism or anything like that, because at the end of the day, I'm not. You know, if you are, cool. Just know that you fucking suck and we're not having dinner together. But it just really makes you think about where we are on the top of the food chain, because you think about millions of years ago, we weren't like this. Before the advent of tools and shit, like a fucking tiger would swoop me up right now, bite my neck off, especially because I'm blind from one eye. I have an evolutionary disadvantage. And now that we have, you know, something as simple as a fucking knife that we can tie to a stick and throw it at something, made us the top dog. So, not top dog, the top cat, because we're an alley cat. Not no dogs up in here. Anyways, guys, look how much time we're looking at. 1:20, 10 minutes. Fuck, my ass is hurting. God damn. No wonder my favorite podcasters get tired of this shit. But in all honesty, I'm glad to be back. I hope to get new episodes recorded soon. I hope to get some new guests coming in soon, and maybe improve the quality of the episodes, because I know my last episode was not my best, to be honest. I know the audio and the video were out of sync, and it's only because I'm working with fucking Filmora. It doesn't have the best, it's not like Audacity where, where you can really get down precise to the exact waveforms. Like Filmora only does it by like 1/10 of a second, and even then you're always going to be off. So if anything, from now on, I'm just going to record on the stupid fucking cam part of my computer. I believe so that the audio going back to the cameras coming in through this microphone. If not, it makes for a good prop. I don't know. I can't promise you guys anything, dude, because I can't even promise myself nothing. I just know that I want to be more consistent. I love doing this podcast. I love chatting with you guys. I love you guys. I love telling you guys my stories and my unpopular opinions. And especially, like I said, I love having guests, like especially my friend Drew and my friend Wilmer. Like, it's a little bit more formal from when we hang out, but they have stories that I think you guys should hear. They have opinions that they're my friends. They're people that I see every day, or people that I message every day and interact with. Like, these guys are people that are near and dear to my heart, and hopefully that chemistry rubs off, and you guys are able to have that same chemistry and that same vibe with your friends and family, you know? I mean, life's too short. Life's too short. Even though sometimes it feels like, it feels another fucking truck. But all right, here's what we're gonna end on. Even if we go overtime, who gives a fuck? I don't give a fuck. Who's the producer? I'm the producer. I'm the boss. It's like when you go to a store and they're like, can I speak to the manager? And you're just like, I am the manager. Which I've done before. I'm not proud of that. I did that at Rite Aid when I used to work down the street at Rite Aid. That's a story for another time, but Chico, so rest in peace, dog. I think we're going on either 2 or 3 weeks. If you drive down Atlantic Avenue heading southbound, or northbound if you're heading up, you look across the street from Tams. There's going to be an island, an island in the middle of the street. Where they have palm trees and shit. Across the other street is Chilitos. And the thing about Chilitos is that it's a smoke shop. It's open 24 hours a day. And they do gambling. I'm not going to say whether or not it's legal, but still, plead the fifth. It was a late night. Maybe not that late. Let's say like somewhere between 8:30 and 9:15. a little another hood rat, tramp. Just another local drunk just like me. Was crossing the street. And he was already fucked up. He had his favorite brand of beer was King Cobra. He had some shots, not even shots, swigs of Malibu, and I think he must have been high on crystal meth. And this is the reason why you shouldn't smoke crystal meth, kids. Anyways, he's crossing the street to go to Chilitos to, I'm assuming, to either put money into his account, take money out of his account, or something as simple to just buy a single cigarette, which they sell. And there was a driver who I'll see if I can get into the details later, but the point is that first all we knew is that a driver hit him and threw him 10 feet in the air, and he landed head first. And he went to the hospital. The cops showed up, the ambulance showed up, and the whole neighborhood was trying to find out what happened to him. What happened to... I'm not going to say his name to the end because I'm trying to build up and give you guys some context, but what happened to Woody Woo? We don't know. We didn't know. And I got all Magnum PI on this shit, like private investigator. Like, I was calling the hospitals, I was calling the coroners, and it was really hard to find Old Boy because he didn't have an ID on him. He didn't have anything with his name on him, so he was a John Doe. And I can try to find him with his birth name, which even then I still got wrong because they gave us the wrong information. You can't really pull up a John Doe, you know what I'm saying? And so after 2 or 3, 4 more days, his wife was actually, his widow was actually able to go down to the coroner's office and identify the body. He had passed away. He had suffered major brain swelling, broken ribs, broken legs. He got hit by a speeding car and he was already drunk, and high, so even if the swelling and the broken of bones didn't kill him, bleeding out with alcohol with your blood thinning would have killed him. And I told her that, not to be heartless or anything, but it's let's keep things realistic. This is why I make a bad bearer. This is why I should have been a doctor. But we'll get into it in a second. So, passes away and they set up a GoFundMe. And at the end of the day, fucking rest in peace, Chico. And that was his name here at the block. Whether it was at La Base right there on Linden and South Street, or on 53rd and Atlantic, Chico. He'd come by, he'd want to drink his King Cobra, and he'd ask you if you could charge his phone so he can call his kids. If he had money, he'd spot you a beer. If he didn't, you give him some change and you'd spot him one. He didn't fuck with nobody, he didn't fight nobody, he had no confrontations. When he would get high on crystal, he would just get more mad at himself than at any other people. I remember one time he came by to the liquor store and his hand was swollen, black and blue, because he kept punching the wall because he was so mad at himself that he couldn't get his shit together to be there for his 5 kids, So, I really wanted to rest in peace, Chico, and this episode, as derailed and controversial and fucked up as it may be, I want you to know that you're going to be missed, man. You're going to be missed, and you're in a better place, man. You're not suffering no more. No one's wondering where you're at, your family, your moms. But rest in peace, Chico, man. You're going to be alright. And if YouTube will allow me, I'll leave a link down to his GoFundMe. But the way I want to put it, just because of the loss of Jerry Springer and the loss of Chico, just like Jerry Springer says, take care of yourselves and each other, and don't take anything for granted. Like, who am I to give fucking advice? I'm just another drunk tramp from the neighborhood, but the point that I'm trying to get across is don't hold on to any resentments, especially when it comes to, like, you want to get into the nitty gritty? Especially when it comes to your baby daddy or your baby mama or a past relationship. Like, even though you guys might have ended on a bad note and you guys have all this fucked up shit going on, especially when it comes to kids and DCFS and addiction and monetary fucking issues, like, as they say, don't go to bed angry, because one day you're telling this person to go fuck themselves, and the next day they're dead, and you're over here crying saying that I was always there for this person, I always cared for them, I don't know what happened. Like, no, you know what happened. You cursed them, and in so you caused their death, and you should be guilty and you feel ashamed for it. And it's a harsh opinion for even me to have, but at the same time, don't go to bed angry. Try to make amends so that you don't have a bad, guilty conscience. I know the people that have died in my life, I don't have a guilty conscience to any of them, because I try to let go of those resentments. I know you treated me bad in the past, but it's okay. There's a couple of people that I don't have that with yet, but I still want to say it to them. And I hope I get to say it too before something happens. And hopefully, it doesn't. So, let me round this off because it got kind of fucking heavy. And I might have to go cry in a second. But take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Don't hold on to any resentments. And at the end of the day, crack a joke. Find an irony in life. Alright? So, with that I say, thank you for another awesome fucking episode of the Alley Cat Podcast. If you haven't, make sure to like, comment, favorite, subscribe, share on YouTube, on fucking Spotify, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get this on Rumble, and just come back to the alley. We're always here chilling, drink a beer, smoke a joint, and as always, thank you for watching.
That's one fucking nice kitty right there.